Hi, back with another one. Like, share, subscribe. I don't understand why you can't hit the like button. But this one is on Obama, how he disrespect black men because there's not enough enthusiasm for the support that he had among black folk. Well, the reason why you are the first, and what Obama taught us in his leadership that all skin folk are not kinfolk, and that's a fact. He didn't do a darn thing for black folk, and that's a fact. And she already said that she not doing anything specifically for black folk. So everyone has a right to vote for whoever they feel is the best person. I firmly don't like Jezebel because I see right through her and her antics. And plus, she wasn't even raised here, K through 12. She was in Canada, and Canada is totally different from the United States. It's actually, well, it was a better country until they elected Trudeau, and then they got him in there again. He is awful. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, you're not going to see the enthusiasm because people are hurting. Grocery prices, gas. I mean, people pockets are hurting. People are in real need. I remember my daughter was at Family Dollar, and the man ran in there and robbed it. And guess what? He robbed. He stole diapers and wipes and got a few dollars. I said that goes to show you that people are in real need and people are hurting. This, and I'm just saying. So no, people looking at their pocketbook because I know I'm voting policy and pocketbook. That's what Obama taught me because I stood in that line for 2 hours to vote for him. My mama had it right all along. She voted for John McCain because of abortion. And I blasted my mama. But she had it right all the time. She didn't care. I blamed my mama stood on her own ground and like she told me, you stand on what you believe in, no matter what. Unless somebody can convince me or have compelling evidence, which most time they don't. That's just what it is, because I'm a researcher. But if they have compelling evidence and stuff to change my mind, I'll change my mind and say that I was wrong. But in the meantime, in between time, we're voting based on politics and policy, not identity. It don't work no more. Obama killed that. He did everything for the LGBTQXYZ community and nothing for us. I said after that, I went vote skin color, identity politics ever. It will always be based on policy and what's right for me and my pocketbook and my family. Y'all continue down that path if you want to, but he was dead wrong. And I'm about to let you know because I'm gonna have to do this quickly. It probably gonna be a part two because I'm about to get out of here. Obama call out to black men touches a nerve among Democrats. Is election year misogyny at play? Barack Obama had frank words for black men who may be considering sitting out the election. Part of it makes me think, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And that's part of it. Some men feel that women just not able to lead. And that is part of it, but that ain't the main thing. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that, he said Thursday to a Harris Waltz campaign volunteers and officials at a field office in Pittsburgh. America's first black president touched a nerve among Democrats worried about the VP Kamala Harris' Jezebel chances of becoming the second. Harris is counting on black turnout in battleground states such as Pennsylvania in her tight race with Republican Donald Trump, who have focused on energizing men of all races and has made inroads with black men. Obama's comments belie that black men still overwhelmingly back Harris, but her campaign and allies have worked hard trying to shore up support with this critical group of voters and addresses questions about potential misogyny. A recent poll found that 7 in 10 black voters have a favorable view of Harris. I don't know how, and she ain't gonna do a doggone thing for you. And preferred her leadership to that of Trump on several major policy issues, including economy, health care, abortion. I could care less about abortion right now. Immigration, and war between Israel and Hamas. I don't even care about Israel and Hamas. I really don't. I care about the economy, my pocketbook, immigration. Because if you look at the job support, Americans lost 1.3 million jobs in August, and the illegals gained 1.2. So that means every American job lost went to illegal, and that's a fact. And if you happy with that, here's Watts is your team. There was little difference in support for Harris between black men and black women, but Kalal Thompson, co-founder and executive director of Win with Black Men, said he agreed with what he saw as Obama's larger point. I believe President Obama is speaking to a tangible but visceral understanding of what it means for all men to relate to women in leadership in America. Calling out misogyny is not wrong, he said. When would black men have organized weekly calls and events meant to bolster here standing with black men? Hold on, I gotta grab this. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back with you. Something came up on my thing. I gotta get this off. Hmm. So how did I miss? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm missing Friday. Okay, let me get back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. The flurry of activism has focused on combating misinformation in Black communities about HERES, as well as emphasis on the policy priorities of Black men, which the group found are often centered on greater economic opportunities, safe communities, social justice policies, health care, particularly for partners and children of Black men. We're not malevolent. That's true, Thompson said. However, we are just like every other American in this country who wants a good paying job that can provide for our children and participate in their lives and the lives of our partner, that we can get them home safely, afford to go to the grocery store, that part, save a little money for retirement, that part. That's what I'm concerned with right there. And have a ding on vacation. Facts. Black men are not in our back pocket, she told a panel hosted by the National Association of Black Journalists in September. Harris recently sat down with all the smoke broadcasts hosted by NBA players Bonds and Steven Jackson, and couldn't answer a question. Pitiful. Our black men, we got to get them out the vote, says NBA Magic Johnson during a recent rally in Flint. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things to the black community. No, she did not. She specifically said she ain't doing SHIT for black people in particular. Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Get that in your heads. Nothing. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand it. We got to make sure black people understand she ain't going to do nothing for you, period. The Trump campaign and its allies have held roundtables for black men and conducted a bus tour through swing states like Baltimore, Chicago, and Philadelphia. The campaign believes the former president appeals on issues such as the economy, immigration, and traditional gender roles resonate with some black men, and it does. Trump has also sought to exploit Obama's remarks, writing on social media Friday that Obama admits a total lack of enthusiasm for Kamala. Right, because she don't even have a personality. She's a chameleon. She is whatever she need to be when she need to be it. She and a liar. She has no personality. Nobody likes her. Her staff don't even like her. On Saturday, the campaign's Black Men for Trump advisory board released a statement condemning Obama's remarks as insulting. It's demeaning to suggest that we can't evaluate a candidate's track record, especially when Jezebel Harris has done more harm than good to Black communities, wrote a group in a letter that co-signed by Representative Brian Donald. I love him. I love him. Wesley Hunt, as well as former state lawmakers and longtime Trump ally Kwame Kilpatrick. He let Kwame Kilpatrick go during his Fresh Step Act to release prisoners. He let a lot of Black men out of prison. Angela Stanton, the First Step Act. So don't say yes, he has. Whose prison sentence for corruption crimes was commuted by Trump during his administration. Trump earlier years mused that the criminal charges against him in four separate indictments, one of which led to a conviction with another dismissed, made him more relatable to Black people. A lot of people said that's why Black people like me because they've been hurt and discriminated against in the system. That's a fact. Trump's support, Trump's support among Black, white, and Hispanic male voters worries senior Harris campaign officials because the campaign is being divided up against gender lines. But the debate over to what degree misogyny plays a role in Black men not supporting Harris sidesteps a broader conversation on how Black men are engaged as full citizens in politics, argues Philip Agnew, founder of Black Men Bill. To be a Black man in the United States is to be invisible facts and hypervisible facts at the same time, and neither one of those is a humanizing viewpoint. And oh shoot, I'm trying to get this thing. It always does. Oh my god. I don't know why this stuff. I might have to have Danye fix this because it always go away. Anyway, Agnew said many Black men throughout those conversations he went to travel to 10 different cities and he found expressed aspiration toward politics, a sentiment shared by many Americans, in addition to a feeling that their political perspectives were often misunderstood and underappreciated. That is a fact about how people feel about Black men views when it comes to politics. The Black men I know are incredibly concerned with the lives of our families and our communities. It's because of the abundance of love from our sisters that we ask questions not out of lack of love. Great. That was written great. Now, this is another article. In both 2000 and 2012, and this is out of Newsweek, the other one was out of Associated Press. I was proud to be an Ohio delegate for President Barack Obama. So I was shocked to hear what former President Obama had to say while speaking to Black men during a surprise visit to Jezebel's campaign in Pittsburgh. His words made my jaw hit the floor. In fact, they made my blood boil. President Obama has some choice words for the enthusiasm gap for Jezebel, specifically when it comes to Black men. My understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kind of energy and turnout in all our quarters of neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. And as I said before, that's because you were the first. And we had hope in you, Obama, and you did nothing for us. And at that point, I said I would never vote identity politics ever. Part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, you are just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. I was infuriated to hear those remarks. No other group of voters is talked to like this, as if they are children. But it's not just the parentalistic tone that had me enraged. It's the underlying message in his words that black men are misogynistic and can't bring themselves to vote for a woman. That is so untrue. The vilification, just leave it there. The vilification of our men is out of line. For starters, is false. Absolutely. Black men are socialized in the same patriarchal society that every other American man is socialized in. Yet when Hillary Clinton ran for president in 2016, 81% of black men voted for her, while only 30% of white men did the same. As for black men allegedly being so against Jezebel, her lowest numbers are with black men under 50 years old, 72% of whom supported Harris. If white men supported Harris at 72%, held up as an example how men can support women. Why are Democratic leaders like former President Obama vilifying me? It's simple. The Democratic Party is setting black men up to take the fall in case VP fails to defeat former President Trump in November. It's that simple. And it's an outrage that we are trying to pin this on black men. If Harris loses, it would not be on black men or any other group of voters. The fault will lie squarely with the candidate and the party she represents. It is her job to appeal to black men, not to lecture those who aren't feeling it. I've spoken to some of them personally in recent years after my time as the Ohio State Senator and chair of the engagement for the Ohio Democratic Party. I travel our country talking to voters, especially black working class people. I spent the past years in rooms with black labor leaders and rank and file members, while black led organizations organized for reparations and black elected officials. And I'm going to say something on that. Trump would be the one that'll give us reparations, not her. She already said no. He would be the one because he's the only president who had talked about, and I watched it, talked about how black people have never been given the credit that they deserve for building this country. And at that point, I said he'll be the one to do it. Just this week, my organization, We Are Somebody Fund, announced a significant investment in black voter outreach for this election. I have talked at length with black men who vote. My dad is a black man who votes. My son is a black man who votes. My brother is a black man who votes. Most of the black men in my life vote. The black men I speak to who are not enthusiastic about Jezebel are not enthusiastic with the Democratic Party as a whole. And that's because the Democratic Party is not no longer a party for the middle class or the elite. They are back to their original standing with the Dixiecrats funded by the KKK. They are back with that agenda, and they have totally took on a new world order agenda, whereas the Republican Party, which is the party of our ancestors, they have gone back to their roots of being a party of the people. What look at how this thing flipped. They went back because under the Republican Party in the 1800s, there were 8 or 9 blacks that were Republicans. That was our original party. They were a party for the people, and they were abolitionists. Facts. Do your research. That's the problem. They feel left behind and ignored. Black men are concerned with the economy, jobs, the criminal justice system, and wages. Issues they do not see the Democratic Party addressing. They can't because they ain't a party for us no more. They ain't a party for the people. They they shouldn't be blamed for Democratic Party's failures. They should be granted the dignity of voting on their interests as they perceive them like everyone else. And if the Democratic Party is failing to galvanize their support, maybe the party should ask what it's doing wrong rather than blaming black men. Facts! We're seeing something historical develop here. On May 22nd, Malcolm X addressed a group of black people in Las Vegas, California, in which he spoke the plight of black women. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. Facts. He was correct. But I think if Minister Malcolm X was alive today, he might see things a bit more expansively. These days, it feels like the most vilified person in America is the black man. When Jezebel became the Democratic nominee, it was widely accepted that she would have to choose a white man as her running mate to appeal to white voters. That's a fact. Harris did have to do that. To appeal to never Trump Republicans, the Harris False campaign is holding events with former Congressman woman Liz Cheney. She awful, and her husband Dick Cheney. Awful. They part of the establishment. Ugh. They invited multiple Republicans to speak at the DNC, and VP Harris had even committed to appointing a Republican to her cabinet. So what? Yet black men who are already feeling pushed out of the party get scolded and painted as misogynistic if they feel rejected. Hold on, I gotta check this. The offers are coming in, and I can't miss one. I'm gonna grab that one. But I still don't have nothing for Friday. Black men do support women. I am a witness. I am blessed to have black men in my life who support me. Out of all the groups of black men are the backbone of men in the Democratic Party. It's time they are treated with respect and dignity they deserve, and not spoken to like children who need to be told what to do. It's setting black men up to be the scapegoats in case of a Trump victory. This is black this black woman will not stand for it. Nina Turner. Well written. That was well written. Now I'm gonna let's get into what people were saying about this. I got about another 15 minutes. I might have to do a part two. That was so well written, Nina Turner from Newsweek. Here we go with Larry Alder.
We can't figure out what he's trying to say. He's trying to gaslight grocery shoppers in the checkout line, and that it's that. So Tim Walz is making that blunder on top of Obama scolding black male voters, saying you're sexist if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. What is going on now?
What's going on is the polls are coming in, and they're realizing that they may very well lose this election. About grocery prices, at least, Liz, they've gone from talking about gouging to now saying, I guess the grocery clerks that are putting the prices there are somehow putting the wrong prices, and they're misleading.
Right.
Obama said the brothers are the problem, meaning the black men who are increasingly voting for Donald Trump. I guess he has that conversation, Liz, with the brothers in Martha's Vineyard when he hangs out at the barbershop and talks about what's going on in the real world.
All right, so
this is a guy who grew up in Hawaii.
Yeah,
his father got an economic degree. His father got an econ degree from Harvard. His mother had a PhD, raised by his middle-class parents in Hawaii, and he's lecturing the brothers on how they got to think about life. 20% higher grocery store prices between now and 2.5 years ago. The question is real simple. Are you better off now than you were 2.5, 3 years ago? And the answer is not unless you're an illegal alien. You're not.
I mean, food and housing are driving CPI numbers to come in hotter recently than expected for September. I mean, wholesale producer price numbers, you got to just hit the economic trend here. They fell just only 1/10 of a point in September. So when you see Kamala Harris talking like this, Larry, we want to get your reaction on, again, she's asked how she's going to fix inflation. Watch her answer here. Listen to this.
And your point, listen, I know prices are too high still. Again, you've heard my story. I come from the working class. And
No, you don't.
some, corporation, and it's very few of them that do this, but then jack up prices. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging, which is when, most companies and corporations are.
Your policy created inflation. Facts. Your policies.
But for those bad ones, they take advantage of people.
Okay, so I mean, I can't make it's like trying to follow that in a windstorm, and you can't follow the train of thought. Let me back up. So she's saying there's price gouging, then she says few companies are doing it. Then Tim Walz is claiming grocery stores are false somehow. The New York Federal Reserve Bank, the San Francisco Fed already debunked this, saying there's little proof groceries and companies are price gouging. They're blaming it on higher operating costs for things like worker wages and commodities. I mean, food manufacturing costs I think they're up more than 28% since 2020. And that's kept the grocery profit margins down to a razor-thin 1.6. Now, Larry, I didn't mean to hit all that nerdy data there, but when you look at the facts, Larry, it's like Obama rhetoric, right? Obama smearing, just coming out there with no facts, no policy fixes. He claimed that Trump inherited his good economy when Trump inherited a 1.6%, 9% GDP growth from Obama. So, when you see like the bloviating political flannel rhetoric and the facts, Larry, how do black voters take it? How do black voters on the street take it?
Well, the same way any voter takes it, they feel insulted. They can see what the prices are. Kamala Harris has no plan. She said that she couldn't think of any major issue or even minor issue where she disagreed with Joe Biden. And if you're part of the 2/3 of Americans who believe we're on the wrong track, and you hear the leader who put us on the wrong track saying that I wouldn't do anything any differently, what makes you think the person who put you on the wrong track is going to put you on the right track?
Exactly. Come on. Now that's a fact. That is a fact. Let me get rid of that.
Xavier DeRousseau, a former BLM activist, and Anton Daniels, a YouTuber, content creator. Xavier, let's start with you. You say you were personally, after watching them, offended by Obama's comments?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, Obama's not as talented of a liar as he used to be. But quite frankly, my ancestors fought way too hard for me to have the ability to learn how to read. Just for Obama to expect me to be so uneducated, to think that I would vote for Kamala Harris simply because she claims to be a black woman. And I mean, if people want to stop having Kamala Harris be called a DEI hire, maybe he should stop trying to remind us of her demographic every 5 minutes. Black men not supporting Kamala has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has everything to do with her lack of accomplishment over the last 1,359 days.
Come on, facts.
Anton, I'm watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, it just seems very 2002 or 3. I mean, 2008, I should say. Right? It doesn't quite have the same appeal.
It doesn't.
As star-ish as he is.
It's a Hail Mary pass, considering that we did vote him in based off of identity politics. And I'm not saying that all is bad, because he did do some things that I didn't necessarily disagree with that Trump absolutely did better than him. But at the same time, I felt that it was incredibly disrespectful, because he's making the assumption that we're not educated enough to lead our families, to look at the policies, to understand exactly what's going on with immigration. And we're supposed to overlook everything that they did over the last 3.5 years that was not in our favor. And when I say our, I'm talking about the American people, let alone men, let alone black men. And we're supposed to vote for her because of some misogynistic reason that's made up. And instead, we've learned how to educate ourselves, and now they've sent their Messiah back to rein us in and bring us back into the Democratic plantation.
Facts, and it's not going to work.
Most men that I've spoken with have said that it's absolutely disrespectful, and we're done with Obama.
Well,
Facts.
Again, when he says, "You're lucky Michelle's not here," he does. What is that supposed to mean? I mean, I guess it's supposed to be funny because she'll scold them in a more convincing or scarier fashion. it's kind of treating young black men as children.
Facts.
Like your children, and mommy's coming back, and mommy's gonna chastise you, and you're gonna get punished. But you're supposed to vote against your own economic interests to make Michelle and Barack happy and their 4 mansions.
It's absolutely degrading. And black men are sick of being reduced to being expected to think with our skin color. We
Right.
have seen how
Facts.
terrible the Obama, Biden, Harris trilogy has been for our country. It has completely demoralized our country. And quite frankly, Obama has no credibility because this is the same man who heavily endorsed Joe Biden. And we all can feel in our pockets, and we can see it for sure at our border, just how terrible the Biden-Harris administration has been for our country. And Obama admitted himself back in an interview with Steve Colbert that if he could, he would run our country from an earpiece down in the basement. And it wouldn't surprise me if
He
this is
sure
exactly
did.
what he's doing.
Now, Xavier, excuse me, Anton, the media are really pushing Obama to be the rescue agent for Kamala's
And he's not
campaign
gonna work.
forces.
Barack Obama, with joy and with humor, is able to sort of get through to an audience that it's not okay to lie. It's not okay to sell the presidency. It's not okay to be a narcissist and to have the reins of the presidency.
Anton, so Kamala's joy campaign isn't really working. So Obama's going to come in, and again, you're supposed to make less money in real terms.
And be joyful.
Happy with it. To
And
make
be
a lot of
joyful.
money.
Crazy.
I understand this argument.
They took the same blueprint that got Obama elected, and he was a first for us, right? So our grandparents and our parents and things like that wanted to see this happen, but they were largely voting out of ignorance and voluntary ignorance because they only wanted that identity politics in order to push him through into the presidency. But admittedly, where he was charismatic, she isn't. And so
That part.
see through her, she's a chameleon. When they unleashed her and they allowed for her to be able to take reporters' questions and things like that, it showed that she was completely incompetent. And frankly, not only do we feel disrespected, but I'm uncomfortable with Obama standing in front of us trying to scold us and then divert our attention away from the things that's really meaningful, especially for our families. I'm not comfortable with him. I don't want to hear any more messages of hope. I don't want to hear any more messages of joy. I can feel it with my pocketbooks. My friends can feel it with their pocketbooks.
Facts.
And we're ready for him to get out of our way.
I mean, Xavier, I saw something on YouTube. I think it was yesterday. Or maybe
That's facts. This Hussein Campbell.
Shall we begin? Shall we begin? President Obama, ex-President Obama, is trying to give Donald Trump a lecture.
Who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength. And I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons. And that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America.
On how to be a leader. Shall we begin? Obama, you remind me of what it feels like to have a stepdaddy. And that stepdaddy come to the house and have a baby by my mother. Now, you have a kid in the same house. You show the step kid no attention. You don't pat him on the head. You don't play video games with him. You don't ask him how was his day. You don't give him no allowance. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Under your lead, us men has been neglected. You ever heard that song? Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
Mm-hmm.
You left us men of the ghetto with nobody smiling. The ghetto. You left us feeling neglected. Meanwhile, you showed all
You ain't
the
got time to
attention
do nothing.
to the LGBTQ community. And see, I think sometimes you master manipulators in media or you globalists that run the world, y'all fail to realize that the same the LGBTQ community, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Because the LGBTQ people, the gay people in this world, they are brothers. They are sisters. They came from our mothers. They live in the same households. That meant longer to make it seem like they're being treated unfair, when in fact most women treat the gay kid even more special. Wow, us men in the ghetto, you hug, a physical hug, a financial hug, we got nothing from you.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for it. So now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you.
That's not true.
Because you're getting
That is not true.
because that's what being a man is. Putting women down. That's not acceptable.
And now you shaking in your boots. Because you can see clear as day, the warriors in the hood is 110% behind Donald Trump.
Yeah, the jig is up. The Grand Wizard had to show up. Yeah, he got to come from behind the curtains. He got to use his power now to play clean up. Whatever power he thinks he still got. About how the world is fucking with her. That shit is all hype. He told y'all the community don't fuck with her the same way they fuck with him. And it's obvious. So that's why they keep trying to talk to the black men, because they know we not fucking with her. We see through that bullshit. The women they just want a woman in position, so they're gonna go with it. The black men see straight through that shit. That's why Magic Johnson, him, and the rest of them gotta keep popping out to talk to us. Now all of a sudden you want to claim the economy that Trump had, but y'all was saying that the economy was so bad. But you wanted to step out to let the world know that was my economy that up after him. The economy that he kept good for 4 years. But you want to claim it when y'all was just saying that it's a fucked up economy and that she's coming to change it and make it better and all of that from the economy that they fucked up. But anyway, stop pandering. It's looking bad. It's disgusting. Y'all got that man out here begging for votes and all that. Get the fuck out of here.
The soldiers in the hood is 110% behind Donald Trump. The gangbangers in the hood that's trying to change their lives
Yeah.
is 118 sanitation workers. And the list goes on. So now you show your face because we 3 weeks away from an election to talk about the election. But when the people was getting swallowed up by rivers
Come on.
in North Carolina and the South, period, you ain't had nothing to say. We ain't even see you. You remind me of the deadbeat dad. You know the kid always looking out the window?
President Biden and Vice President Harris were down there meeting with local officials and comforting families, asking how
Oh,
they
the
could
whole dang thing
And
don't
Donald
fail.
Trump at a rally just started making up stories about the Biden administration withholding aid from Republican areas and siphoning off aid to give to undocumented immigrants. Just made the stuff up. Everybody knew it wasn't true.
That's
It was not true. And now the people of Florida are dealing with another devastating storm. And I want you to watch what happens over the next few days, just like the last time. You're going to have leaders who try to help, and then you have a guy who will just lie about it to score political points, and this has consequences. People are afraid.
What, you see a lawsuit? You see a pot of gold at the end of the tunnel, and now you want to be a father? Nah, it ain't working, dogs. It ain't working. We ain't feeling you.
facts.
Fake Malcolm X swag that you got, it's over.
Facts.
It's over. Obama, the jig is up.
Facts.
The jig is up. The jig is up. You can't come into our lives when we grown and decide you want to be a father. Matter of fact, you don't even want to be a father. You just want to dictate for the moment. It's not going to work. We don't want you, and we don't want Kamala. And if Trump is going to be a bad president, so let him be. Because last time we checked, the last time he was in office, he was dying. But see, the crazy part about it is, it's like then you sit up there and you lie. A straight face. Talking about he's lying about what's going on in our communities. Your feet is not on the ground.
Facts.
We are in communication with people that's living in these towns
Yep.
that had help turned away. Earth cracking open. Rivers is swallowing up people. Packages of food
Okay, we
being
gotta
turned
get
away
out
and
of here.
denied. You had men out there with helicopters trying to save and rescue people. And people that's in authority, FEMA, or whatever, whoever they work for, turning these people away.
That's a fact.
And then you gonna sit up there and lie? Like we not connected? I don't think you realize that we still connected to what's going on in the streets, because we are the streets. We are the people of poverty and pain. And you ain't nothing but a politician.
Facts.
Coming back to the table when it's time to politic. We don't want to hear nothing that you gotta say.
Facts.
Absolutely nothing. Your time is up. Even though we already see you running this stuff, when you run an office behind the scene, we can see that clear as day.
Facts.
It's over. We are on the brink of World War III, right? We are on the brink of World War III. There's wars breaking out that America's in the middle of in different lands, in different areas, and you really, really think that a man of war, men of the streets, that come from the ghetto, that's been through all types of wars, you think we want our mother, well, she ain't our mother, but you think we want a woman leading us the way into World War III? You out of your cock-picking mind. Ain't no real man going to put a woman at the head of the country when we on the brink of war. Absolutely not.
Facts.
A woman has a place in this world, and the battlefield is not it.
Facts.
Calling shots on a battlefield when we on the brink of World War III is not it. Sorry,
Facts.
Obama.
Facts.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You came a little too late.
Facts.
We seen what you seen what Kamala is doing. We sat back and we watched all these without getting reparations. You know what it feels like to have black people work their whole life and never financial aid to get them into a house?
Yep.
They don't even have to put no down payments down. You got people coming over the border living better than us.
Facts.
Been in this country. Our ancestors died in this country. Nah. Yeah, we got trust issues. We ain't feeling it. Our ribs is touching. Everybody else getting fat while we starving over our tax dollars. Nah.
Yeah, I need you to hold
We
this
ain't
so I
feeling
can.
it. It is what it is, man. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that share button. Y'all hit that subscribe button. And pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. I'm out.
Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Be right